right, strap yourselves in because we're going deep on this one today.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
You want to know how Outlaw Country can help you know God? To go on. Well, now, that's a question.
It is a big one.
That takes some serious guts to ask, and honestly, it's got me fired up to unpack this with you.
Yeah, not the usual path folks take on their spiritual journeys.
No, you got that right.
It's pretty out there.
We're talking about a genre practically dripping with rebellion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Those iconic figures like Willie and Waylon who basically just flipped the bird at the polished Nashville scene and said, we're doing things our way,
Yeah.
So how does a musical movement built on bucking the system lead you to something as profound as knowing God?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, that tension between defiance and faith is exactly what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
We've got academic research on music and spirituality, histories of the outlaw country movement,
right?
Even some intimate artist interviews.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like piecing together a treasure map, but instead of gold, we're seeking spiritual insights.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so outlaw country's got that gritty, rebellious spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it actually connect with the whole idea of spirituality? It feels almost counterintuitive, right?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Outlaw country didn't just reject the Nashville sound, right? It challenged the whole system, even societal norms.
Oh, okay.
And that questioning spirit, that search for authenticity,
Yeah.
spilled over into how these artists approached faith.
So they weren't content with just singing hymns and towing the line.
Not exactly.
All right.
They were grappling with big questions, wrestling with doubt, seeking God in their own terms.
Yeah.
It's like they were living out that spiritual revolution of the late 60s, but through music.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Willie Nelson being a key figure in how outlaw country tackles spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. Okay. Willie Nelson is considered by many to be the spiritual heart of the outlaw movement.
Cool.
His album, Red-Headed Stranger, is considered by some to be a spiritual text, even likened to the King James Bible in its exploration of faith. Mm-hmm. It's a stripped-down masterpiece that set the tone for how the genre could approach spirituality with honesty and depth.
Wait, hold on. Red-Headed Stranger compared to the Bible.
It's a bold statement.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
What makes it so spiritually resonant?
It's not about specific doctrines or preachiness.
Okay.
It's the raw emotion, the vulnerability, the way it tackles themes of loss, redemption, and searching for something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
And Chris Christopherson, another legend, talked about other artists becoming almost like disciples of Nelson.
Wow, really?
There are stories of fans driving for miles just to be in his presence.
Wow, he had that kind of impact. Sounds like it was way more than just fandom.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And it set the stage for how other artists would explore their own faith within the outlaw country movement.
Okay.
It gave them permission to question, to doubt, and to find their own unique connection to the divine.
Mm.
But it's not just about the lyrics.
Okay.
They use music itself to evoke this sense of the sacred.
Now that you mention it, outlaw country doesn't shy away from some pretty jarring sounds.
It's true.
Take Willie Nelson, for example. His voice, the way he bends those notes.
Yeah.
There's this ache, longing in his music.
Mm-hmm.
How does that play into the spirituality of it all?
It's about using dissonance, those unexpected or jarring sounds, to draw your attention to the lyrics and their meaning.
Oh.
It's like the music itself is mirroring the struggles and complexities of a spiritual journey.
So it's not always supposed to sound pretty and comforting.
Right.
It's meant to challenge you a bit.
Exactly. It's raw, it's honest, it reflects the messy reality of searching for God in a world that doesn't always make it easy.
Mm.
Think of it like those old back roads. You might hit some bumps along the way.
Yeah.
But the destination is worth it.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Speaking of bumps in the road, Sturgill Simpson, a more modern outlaw artist, seems to take that dissonance to a whole other level.
He does.
What's going on there?
Simpson's a fascinating case. His music is heavier, more psychedelic, but it still embodies that outlaw country spirit of pushing boundaries.
Right.
Take his song Turtles All the Way Down.
Okay.
It's not afraid to tackle big existential questions.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way that blends traditional religious imagery with references to science, cosmology, and even philosophy.
Yeah, that song definitely turned heads.
It did.
I remember reading that he was deep into Carl Sagan and Stephen Hawking around that time.
True.
It's like he was weaving together these seemingly disparate worlds.
He was.
Yeah.
And that's key to understanding how outlaw country helps us know God in a modern context. Simpson embodies this concept called the immanent frame, where meaning and spirituality are found within the material world.
Oh.
Not just through traditional religious structures.
So it's about finding the sacred in the everyday, in the questions and the struggles.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this exploration so powerful.
Okay.
We're not just talking about a genre of music, but a way of seeing the world.
Right.
A way of approaching our own search for meaning and connection.
And maybe even a way of knowing God that resonates with how we experience faith today.
That's what we're here to find out.
Okay, awesome.
Let's dive deeper into those lyrics and see what truths these outlaw country artists were uncovering.
Awesome, I'm ready.
You know, I was thinking about your question while listening to Hands on the Wheel by Willie Nelson the other day.
Oh, yeah.
There's this one line.
Okay.
And it's the same old song, it's right and it's wrong, and living is just something I do with no place to hide.
Mm-hmm.
It struck me how that feeling of vulnerability, of being exposed, can actually open us up to a deeper understanding of ourselves and potentially something greater.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like by acknowledging our humanness, our imperfections, we create space for something more profound to enter.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And that rawness, that honesty, is what makes outlaw country so effective at exploring spiritual themes.
Yeah.
These artists aren't preaching or offering easy answers.
Right.
They're grappling with doubt, with pain, with the search for meaning in a world that can often feel chaotic and confusing.
Which, if we're being honest, is a lot closer to how most of us experience faith in our daily lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this exploration so relevant.
Okay.
Outlaw country gives us permission to ask those hard questions.
Yeah.
To wrestle with doubt and to find our own unique path to knowing God. It's not about conforming to a specific set of beliefs.
Right.
It's about that raw, personal search for truth.
We were talking earlier about how music itself can be a vehicle for spiritual experience.
Right.
There's something about those simple, soulful melodies, the repetition that ache in the music. It's like it's tapping into something universal, something primal.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a modern idea.
Okay.
Throughout history and across cultures, music has been used to connect with the divine.
Interesting.
Think about chanting in monasteries.
Okay.
Drumming circles in indigenous traditions.
Right.
The power of gospel music. It's a universal language that transcends words.
But is there something more to it than just cultural associations?
It could be.
Is there something happening in our brains, our bodies, that makes music so powerful in a spiritual context?
There's some fascinating research that suggests just that certain rhythms and melodies can actually trigger the release of endorphins.
Oh, wow.
Creating feelings of euphoria or transcendence. And some studies indicate that music can activate the same areas of the brain associated with religious experiences.
So it's not just a feeling.
Right.
There's a neurological basis for music's power to connect us with something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It's like music can bypass the logical part of our brain and speak directly to our soul.
I've definitely felt that before.
Yeah.
Certain songs can just transport me, evoke a whole range of emotions. Joy, sorrow, longing, a sense of peace.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
And what's so intriguing about outlaw country is that it draws on those same musical elements that have been used in spiritual music for centuries.
Oh.
Those simple, soulful melodies, the use of repetition, the yearning in the music, but it filters them through a lens of rebellion, of questioning, of searching for authenticity.
So it's both honoring tradition and pushing boundaries at the same time. Exactly.
It's that tension that makes it so compelling.
Yeah.
And potentially so spiritually insightful.
Okay.
It's like these artists are taking those ancient forms and infusing them with a modern sensibility.
Okay.
A way of experiencing faith that resonates with how we live today.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking about my own approach to spirituality.
Yeah.
It's like outlaw country is giving us permission to question, to doubt, to find our own way.
And that's a crucial message for anyone seeking God, regardless of their background or beliefs.
So if someone is listening to this, intrigued by the idea of exploring spirituality through Outlaw Country. Where do they even begin?
I'd say start by simply listening with intention.
Okay.
Don't just treat it as background noise.
Right.
Pay attention to how the music makes you feel. What thoughts and images come to mind.
Yeah.
Which songs resonate with you.
Okay.
Which lyrics speak to your soul.
It's like treating the music as a meditation, a way to tune into your inner world.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to let the music take you on a journey.
Yeah.
Follow those threads of curiosity, those moments that spark something within you.
And trust that there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's
that.
your own personal exploration.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Outlaw Country, in its rejection of conformity, reminds us that everyone's spiritual journey is unique.
Right.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to knowing God.
But what about those moments when you hit a wall?
Yeah.
When the doubt creeps in? Those times when the road gets rough?
Those moments are inevitable.
Yeah.
And in many ways, they're essential to the journey.
Okay.
Outlaw Country doesn't shy away from those darker emotions,
Right.
those struggles with faith. In fact, it embraces them.
It's likely to saying it's okay to not have all the answers, to question, to wrestle with your beliefs.
Exactly. And in those moments of wrestling, of searching, of being honest with ourselves about our doubts and fears, we often find a deeper, more authentic connection to something greater than ourselves.
So maybe the key isn't about finding a perfect, unwavering faith,
Right.
but about being open to the journey, the ups and downs, the questions and the discoveries along the way.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that's where Outlaw Country can be such a powerful companion.
Yeah.
It reminds us that it's okay to question, to doubt, to find our own way.
Right.
And that in those moments of vulnerability, of raw honesty,
Yeah.
we might just find ourselves face to face with the divine.
It's funny, when I first started thinking about your question, how can Outlaw Country help me know God?
Right.
I thought it seemed almost paradoxical.
Yeah.
You know, this genre that's all about rebellion, about bucking the system,
Right.
about forging your own path. How could that possibly lead you to a deeper understanding of something as profound as the divine?
It's a question that gets right to the heart of what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
It challenges our assumptions about where and how we encounter the sacred.
And what we've discovered is that maybe those assumptions need to be challenged.
Yeah.
Maybe that rebellious spirit, that willingness to question and seek truth outside of traditional structures
Right.
is actually a key part of this spiritual journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about the artists we've discussed.
Okay.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, Sturgill Simpson.
Right.
They weren't afraid to grapple with doubt,
Yeah.
to wrestle with their beliefs, to express their faith in unconventional ways.
Right.
And in doing so, they opened up a space for others to do the same.
It's like they were saying, hey, it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to question, to doubt, to find your own way. And maybe that's precisely what draws people to Outlaw Country in the first place.
It could be.
That sense of freedom, of authenticity, of being true to yourself,
Yeah.
even if it means going against the grain.
And that search for authenticity, that willingness to peel back the layers and get to the core of what you believe,
Yeah.
is essential to any meaningful spiritual journey.
Okay.
It's not about blind faith or adhering to dogma,
Right.
but about seeking truth in your own way, on your own terms.
We've talked a lot about how Outlaw Country uses music itself to convey these spiritual themes. The dissonance, those raw, honest lyrics, the melodies that seem to tap into something deep within us.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's never really connected with traditional religious music, but is drawn to the emotional power of Outlaw Country?
I'd say listen with your heart.
Okay.
Let the music wash over you.
Okay.
And notice what resonates, what emotions come up, what questions are stirred within you.
Okay.
You might find that these songs, with their tales of struggle,
Yeah.
redemption, and searching for meaning, speak to your soul in a way that traditional hymns never.
It's about being open to the possibility that God or the divine or whatever you choose to call it can be found in unexpected places.
Yeah.
In the grit and the grace of a Willie Nelson song, in the cosmic questioning of Sturgill Simpson's lyrics,
Right.
even in the ache of a steel guitar.
And remember, you don't need to have all the answers or even believe in a specific deity to find value in this exploration.
Okay.
It's about opening yourself up to the experience,
Right.
to the possibility of connecting with something larger than yourself.
So to circle back to your initial question, how can Outlaw Country help me know God?
Right.
Perhaps the answer lies not in a set of doctrines or beliefs, but in the journey itself.
It's about embracing the rebellious spirit of Outlaw Country, questioning, seeking, and ultimately forging your own unique path to the divine.
And who knows, you might just discover that the road less traveled leads to the most profound destinations of all.
It's possible.
Keep asking those tough questions. Keep seeking truth. And keep diving deep into the music that moves your soul.
That's right.
Until next time, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.